Hey everybody, my name is Graham Hunt. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about a method of coloring that I use in Resolve. This method helps me to achieve a cinematic and punchy grade quickly and easily in Resolve. I have found that this method is especially useful when converting and correcting my log footage, as it allows us to correct and convert our footage really quickly and really easily. The method that we're going to be going through today involves 3 different steps. The first step is color space transform. The second step is using a LUT, and the third step is controlling our black points. So we're going to jump into DaVinci Resolve, and I'm going to break down this grade for you, and then we're going to make a power grade which you can then use like a preset on all of your clips. Basically, all you have to do is save it and then double click on it and it will apply that to your clip, which means that you'll have the proper conversion, especially if you are using log footage that is filmed in the same color space. If not, it's not a big deal. With the color space transform, we can make changes really quickly to match whatever color space you are using. So let's jump into DaVinci Resolve and we can get started. Awesome, so now that we're in DaVinci Resolve, we can take our clips, stick them in our timeline and move over to the color page. So the first thing we're going to do is create one, which is already there. So now this is our second node, our third node, and our fourth node. And the way we do that is by clicking Alt and S, or Option S on Mac. So now that we have 4 of our nodes available, these are just serial nodes, we are going to close our clips tabs. We don't need to see all of them, and find our hero point in our shot. So as you can see, this is log profile. This is the Blackmagic Design generation 5 log profile, which means that it's just Blackmagic's color space. It's generation 5 of their color space, which is their newest color space, and it is in their film log. So our first step, which is color space transform, is going to be done on our second node. So what we need to do is select our second node. We go up to effects, and either we can just scroll down, it's right there, or you can type it up in the search bar over here. And we're just going to drag it across onto our second node. So we have input color space, input gamma, output color space, and output gamma. So the color space transform effect helps us getting our footage looking and handling properly within our project's color space. It helps us accurately convert our footage to either a Rec 709 or a different color space so that we can then continue with our grade. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take this from the Blackmagic Design color space and we're going to put it into Cineon film log. And so yes, we are taking this from a log profile, telling DaVinci Resolve what color space we have this clip in, and then we're going to be telling DaVinci Resolve that we want to convert it to a different color space, which is also a log profile. I know that sounds confusing, but what that does is it allows us to then apply our LUT to a log profile that is going to work cohesively with that LUT. Okay, so with our node selected that has our color space transform, we can go in and make all the adjustments that is then going to convert our footage to the color space that we need it to be in to use the LUT that is a part of this workflow. So we go to our input color space. So this is for Blackmagic footage. If you are filming on a different type of log, don't stress, just YouTube how to use the color space transform on your footage to convert it to Rec 709, and then the output gamma is going to be what we're going to be using today. We're going to change this to Blackmagic Design Video Gen 4 or 5. We're going to say Gen 5. Input gamma is going to be Film Gen 5 because we filmed in its film log Gen 5. Output color space is going to be Rec 709. So now we have done a correct conversion to Rec 709, and then we're going to put our output gamma. This is the important part. Cineon film log. So that's it for our first step. Really easy, really simple, and really quick. The second step is our LUT. So the second step, like I said, is a LUT. So we select our third node, go up to LUTs on the top left, film looks, and this is the LUT we're going to be using. There are 3 types of these different LUTs. We've got the D55, the D60, and the D65. As you can see, they get colder the higher the number is. Basically what these LUTs are film prints, and they are digital versions of a film stock that is widely used in the cinema world, and it just gives a really nice vibrant look to the footage. So we're just going to drag that, slap it onto our footage, and there we go. That's the second step. done. The third step of this method is to control our black points. But to do that, we first need to get our exposure and our saturation looking really nice so that we can then accurately control our black points. Before our LUT, we actually need to make two other nodes, and these are going to be for our exposure and our saturation. So what I like to do is take this first node, which is actually our noise reduction, if we do noise reduction, which is not available in the free version. This is our CST, color space transform. And then we're going to make two nodes in front of the CST. So Alt S, Alt S. This is going to be our exposure, XP. This is going to be our saturation, SAT. This is our LUT. And this is our black points. Right, so now that we have our node structure set up, we can start going. And this is when I would suggest making your power grade. So to do that, what we have to do is select gallery on the top left, going power grade. As you can see, I've got a couple power grades already set up, and then right clicking on your preview and saying grab still. Now we have this still selected, and if I were to go to any of the other clips that I have on the timeline and say apply grade, so now as you can see, all of our nodes and all of our settings have been transferred onto this new clip. And that is why this method is so quick and easy, because we are using color space transform to convert our footage, which means that it's not doing anything with our exposure or saturation. This is just converting it to a Rec 709 and then a different color space. But that means that if we were to put this on another clip that was shot at nighttime, it's still going to convert it to that other color space. Then once we put our LUT on, it's still going to be exposed the way that we had exposed it on set. So all of our exposure and saturation and all that kind of stuff can be done after that fact. But this is what makes it so easy to just slap this on any clip, because your exposure and saturation hasn't been done. So it's not, you don't have to go and fix what you've done in the past. It just gives you that quick conversion. Basically your grade's done. And then all you have to do is just add your saturation, control your black points, and fix your contrast, and you're done. So now that we've got our first and second step done, we have our power grade created. Let's get on and do our exposure and our saturation so that we can move on to our black points. So let's start with our exposure. We're just going to make some quick adjustments just to get our contrast looking good, and then we're going to move on to saturation. So that is looking pretty good to me. I don't think we need to do too much more. So this is where we really get to see the effect that our LUT and this workflow has on our footage. I mean, this looks so creamy and punchy, and we've done basically nothing to get here. All we've done is 3 steps, well, 2.5 steps, and we are already at a place where we could be pretty happy with the grade if we wanted to be. So I feel that it's time to go into our black points and really sell this look with 3 small steps. So if we choose our black point node, and right here in our primary color wheels, we select our log wheels, and in our shadows, we can really push and pull these colors individually, controlling those color channels. So if we look at our parade over here in our scopes, we can see that we've got our red black points, our green black points, and our blue black points. What we want to do is sort of level those out until the footage feels a lot more natural. And what we can see is a lot more information being brought into the shadows because of this. So what we're going to do is just slightly bring down the blue and get in line with that red. And what I'm looking for is the lowest point of the red to match with the lowest point, or with a similar point in the blue. So small, it's just a small adjustment. I'm looking here at the top, and what I'm seeing is the black points becoming black. And to me, that is what sells this look. It really just pulls out that weird blue fade or green fade that we sometimes have in our footage. And if you wanted to, we could make a parallel node saying Alt or Option P and continue to add a bit more saturation if you wanted to punch even more. There we have a lot more punch in our vibrancy, or sorry, our saturation in this node. But that looks really good to me. Let's break it down again. So we started off with our color space transform. We then went and applied our LUT, which was the Kodak 2383D60. We then went and applied our contrast or our exposure node, then some saturation, and then we controlled our black points. We added some more saturation just for the fun of it, and that's how we get a really nice looking punchy cinematic grade really quickly. So now that I've applied something that is a correct conversion, all I have to do is select clips up here, choose one of the other clips that I want to color grade, and use the middle mouse button to transfer all of those nodes across really easily. And because I've used a color space transform and a LUT to get most of my contrast, we are then able to just bring that stuff across really simply and make minor adjustments to get our footage looking the way we want it to. And as you can see, if we play this back, we have some really beautiful looking footage right off the bat. There would be some adjustments we need to make because our exposure nodes and our saturation nodes and even our black points now needs to be adjusted. This is where we have to be more particular, is with these exposure, saturation and black point nodes. We can't just copy those across. We need to be specific about them in each clip because our black points are going to be controlled differently in each different clip. So let me show you again what we can do with our black points. So the saturation nodes, we're just going to close this one. So the saturation, we're just going to keep to this level. And our black points are sitting fairly equal in this clip, which means that we did our white balance really well. And it means that we were able to retain all the details in the shadows without having a weird tint come through. So let's bring our exposure down by going to our color wheels. I'm going to pull that down, open up our gamma or our midtones, and we have some pretty good contrast in this shot. And let's open it up a little bit. It's a little dark. Now that we've done that, we can see that our black points have actually changed a little bit. So if we go to our black points, we go to the log wheels and we touch the red down, touch the green down to match that red level, and touch the blue down. We've really made a difference here. You can see, especially in the shadows here, that green haze has now gone, which means that this look is a lot more believable. We've made it nice and clean and punchy, and that's obviously what we're going for. Awesome guys, so that's it for this video. If you really enjoyed this video or if you learned something new, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. What we really want to do is create a platform where we can share this kind of information. We're going to be doing some gear reviews, we're going to be doing some camera comparisons, and yeah, as soon as we learn something new, we're going to want to be sharing this with the rest of you. So please subscribe and stay tuned. Cheers.